Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. An absolute pleasure to be able to speak to you about this incredible film playing here at Berlin. Maybe you could just kick off with a brief introduction to Coma. For people who don't know anything about the film, how would you, in your own words, give us a brief synopsis?
First of all, maybe it's a letter to my daughter, who's now 18, so someone who enters life, which is a kind of introduction in the film. Then after, the idea of the film is to go inside the head of 18 years old teenager, locked in a room for some reasons, pandemic or anything else, and to have access to her dreams and her nightmares. And this kind of idea allowed me a lot of freedom in the narrative way and a lot of different worlds, different textures, going from found footage to animation, and yeah, get into the psyche of a young girl.
And, you know, obviously it is within the context, or at least in the realm of the recent past of the pandemic. So when did the idea first come to you? And, you know, how did you kind of put the film together so quickly? And what do you think is interesting to kind of reflect on something that's not even really in the past? We're still living through the pandemic. We're still really in this moment, as we know now.
In fact, there were two parts. First, I did a short movie, which is the prologue of the film, which is the letter to my daughter. And to that short movie, I had a lot of answers and reactions that were very moved. And as the pandemic was really going on and on and on, I said, okay, I should go further and, you know, and push the idea. I was watching like a conference of Gilles Deleuze, and I remembered that sentence that he says, never go inside of the dreams of a young girl. And I say, okay, I have my film. I will go inside the dreams of a young girl. I know it's dangerous. And so I wrote the film very quickly, and in fact, with my co-producer, we decided not to look for partners and just to shoot. And to keep something speed and quick and most of all very free. And so we did the film like that, very independent way. And I met some guys who had an animation studio that I really loved, and I decided to add some animation. And the film was done like this, like in a family film. And when the film was finished, we looked for partners and we found them. But it was done like 6 people in the crew, 12 days of shoot.
And how would you put this kind of in relation to some of your other films? Because I guess you've looked at sort of, you know, the lives of young people before. Would you see that as kind of a continuation of that? Or how would you say in this film in other ways is quite distinctive?
It's like, I didn't look for that, but it's like a trilogy, I would say, with Nocturama, Zombie Child, and this one about youth. This one is the more mental, because we're getting to the head of a young girl. And I think now we go out from youth and do something else. But maybe I needed one more, because it's true, I'm very interested and very moved by 18 years old people, how the world is opening to them, and how they're going to live.
And what do you think the film has to say about, you know, what the world does look like for all of us in some respects, but specifically for young people? Like the fact that we are kind of, you know, sort of, you know, confined often to our phones, you know, our connections with other people is through perhaps, you know, someone they admire, you know, a YouTuber or, you know, someone through social media. So what do you think the film has to say about all that?
Everyone is very much connected and very lonely in a way. And for me, the only real thing in the film, it's that young girl in her bed, in her room. All the rest is, you know, what's real, what's not real. Everything is digital, everything is dreamy. So for me, that bed, it's like a boat in the sea. You know, you're very alone, even if you're very, very connected.
And the game she plays, you know, this idea that are you really making your own choices? Are you in control? Or can you be sort of led to do something, you know, almost by, you know, instinctively? You know, what do you think, where did that specific idea come from, and what did you want to say with that?
Are we masters of our choices? Yeah. It's like very classical philosophical question, you know. Maybe you can ask yourself more than ever today, you know. Everybody says, I'm very free because I have this app. I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. But are you really free of your choices? I don't have the answer, but I really wanted to put this question in like a skeleton of the film.
And, you know, this YouTube influencer, how did you kind of think of her, and, you know, is there something about parents, you know, the fear they have and the anxiety of who are these role models? It's a world, you know, back in the day, maybe it'd be a TV star, a music star, which, you know, be able to understand more. But when it's a world that, you know, different generations don't have access to, can you have an anxiety of who's the role model, who's the influencer?
It's a new job. And it's everybody's talking about influencers, you know. It's not like the pop stars we had, or the actors, or the musicians. Who are these people? You know, it's very mysterious for me, you know. Why someone has 1 million followers, which word is important, more important than a political word. I really love this character, Patricia Coma, because it allows me a lot. I can say a lot through her, you know. And she's at the same time funny, scary, mysterious. Does she really exist? Is she in the mind of the young girl? And all the film is based on these, you know, questions.
And how did you work with both of the actresses and the other people in your film to kind of achieve your vision? What's your style of working? Do you rehearse, or do you just kind of go with it?
With Patricia Coma, we rehearsed because she had so many texts to learn, you know, and it's very, very precise. But what was difficult for them is either Louise, the young girl, or Julia, the Patricia Coma, they played alone. No partners, you know. For Patricia, it was just her in front of camera. So it's not that easy to you know, you don't have the response of another actor. And for Louise, it's the same. In fact, when she was acting with some other girls, it's through Zoom or FaceTime, and people are not here, very virtual. So it's weird shooting for that, you know.
And what do you ultimately hope people take away from watching the film? And particularly as we say that we're still kind of living through this moment, it's hard, you know, we're not out through the other side to be able to reflect on it. It's going to be probably decades before we can see what impact it would have had on, you know, all of us, but particularly young people as they grow older. So what do you think the film has to say?
I tried to say that in the last letter to my daughter. You know, we're talking about the world after, the world before. This is not a good question. It's you in the world today. That's what counts. And even if we are between day and night, I mean, there is a light somewhere. I wanted also to have a kind of optimist. The film is dark in a way, with a lot of humor, I hope, but still dark. But I wanted the last letter to give some hope and some trust, and to say to that generation, I have trust in you, you know, for the future.
And what does it mean to you to have your film showing here at Berlin Film Festival? And of course, to allow us to, you know, some of us at least, to be here in person, which we've obviously missed over the last few years.
Well, when we were doing the film, like shooting, I don't know, in April or May, with the producer, I said, this would be a great film for Berlin, for the atmosphere. There's something Berlin in the film. I don't know why, you know, we just felt it. So we're very happy to be here, and the screening is tonight. So a little anxious, it's the premiere, but we're very happy.
And you said you're probably going to move away from working, you know, or focusing on young people in your films. Do you know what the next film's going to be? Do you already have it?
I was supposed to shoot in April a film. The film is with Léa Seydoux and Gaspard Ulliel that just disappeared. So we're going to make the film, but very soon, I hope, yeah.
Amazing. Well, it's been such a pleasure to speak to you, and really, really enjoyed the premiere tonight and the rest of your time in Berlin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.